Hey there, folks. Bill O'Leary coming at you here in this video to talk about claiming your parent as a dependent, if you can do that. So in this video, what you're going to learn a couple of things is whether you can claim your parent as a dependent on your taxes, and two, what you have to do to show this. My name is Bill O'Leary. I'm an estate planning and elder law and probate and trust administration attorney, and my firm is Legacy Planning Law Group, and I'm here in Jacksonville, Florida. So, look, life has many chapters, and look, when you were young, your parents, took care of you. When you were dependent on them, well, as your parents age and enter their senior years, the roles might reverse. You might find yourself taking care of them. Maybe they have to move in with you and maybe depend on you for care. They become dependent on you. So if you find yourself in that situation, you should know that the IRS lets you claim your parents as dependents on your income tax return and receive a $500 per dependent tax credit. Okay, so here is what you need to do to qualify for the credit. Number one, with the IRS, they apply several different tests. One is what's called the relationship test. So that means the person you're caring for must be related to you biologically or by adoption or through marriage, which would technically be, I guess, considered a biological relationship with your spouse. The technical term that the IRS uses to meet this relationship requirement is a qualifying relative. And obviously a parent is a close enough relationship, but in-laws and step-parents, even grandparents also qualify. It's important to note that the qualifying relative does not have to live with you all year. That's the relationship test they look at. They also look at residency. The person you're caring for must meet a residency requirement, and this test is satisfied, is met if the person you're caring for is either a U.S. citizen, U.S. national, or U.S. resident alien. By the way, they can also be a resident of Canada or Mexico, a kind of interesting twist. There's also an income test that they look at. Your parent cannot have gross income of more than $4,400 a year. That's as of 2022. This is the income limit that's now in effect. Now, by the way, gross income for this purpose does not include the Social Security that your parent is receiving or maybe some other tax-exempt income. Support. They also look at support. There's a support test. You have to provide more than half the support for your parent during the year, meaning 51% or more of the support must be covered by you. Now, support includes amounts spent on things like, food, housing, clothing, education. Think medical, dental care is included, recreation and entertainment, transportation, equipment, and other similar sort of necessities. Now, here's an interesting point. Even if you don't pay for more than half of your parents' total support for the year, you still may be able to claim your parent as a dependent if you pay more than 10% of your parent support during the year, and if maybe together with others like other family members, collectively, you contribute as a group to more than half of your parent support. Now, to receive this exemption, all those that are supporting your parent have to agree, and they have to assign what's called a multiple support declaration called a Form 2021, and it's a signed statement from the other family members who contributed to the support of your parent that they waive their right to claim the parent as a dependent, allowing you to do so. Now, a few other rules to think about or that you're going to have to be mindful of, okay? Number one, your parent cannot file a joint tax return. If your parent is married, they have to file separately. Now, there's an exception if your parent is filing jointly but has no tax liability. If your parent files a joint return just to get a refund, if that's the only purpose, then you can still claim his or him or her as your dependent. Secondly, your parent that you want to claim as a dependent on your tax return, they need to have a Social Security number or some other individual tax identification number. Either one of those numbers will satisfy the identification requirement imposed by the IRS. Third, you cannot be claimed as a dependent on someone else's tax return or be eligible as a dependent if you plan to claim your parent as a dependent. Okay, so you can't be a dependent for someone else and then try to claim your parent as a dependent of you. In fact, you can't claim a parent as a dependent if you are an eligible dependent for someone else, even if you're not actually claimed by that other person as a dependent. As long as you are an eligible dependent of somebody else, you then cannot claim your parent as a dependent. Also, if you can't claim your parent as a dependent because he or she, let's say you could not claim them because they filed a joint return, which you're not allowed to, or let's say they have an income limit above the $4,400 limit. But let's say you've been paying your parents' medical expenses anyway. Remember, you may be able to deduct those expenses. Okay, talk to your accountant. Something else. If your qualifying relative, let's say mother or father, you might be able to file as a head of household, even if your parent doesn't live with you. Okay, just bear in mind that your mother or father still has to meet those sort of qualifications as a dependent. Also, you have to be paying more than half the cost of keeping up the home if it was your parents' main home for the entire year. If you pay more than half the cost of your parents' senior living or assisted care facility, guess what? That counts as paying for more than half the cost of keeping up your parents' main home. One last tidbit. In addition to the tax credit for declaring your parent as a dependent, you might be able to also claim another tax credit on top called the dependent care credit if your parent needs assistance while you are away at work or you have other commitments. So if you'd like to know a little bit more about whether you can claim your parent as a dependent and maybe how we can help, we'd love to talk to you. So we invite you to book a sort of a free 15-minute discovery phone call. That's what we call it. So you can sort of tell us what your need is. Scheduling the call is very easy. So it's as easy as going down to the bottom of this video. There's a scheduling link right there. Click on it, takes you straight to our booking calendar. Just pick the time and the day that works for you, okay? And also, if you want other information, I have lots of other videos. Go to our YouTube channel, Legacy Planning Law Group. And lastly, if you've enjoyed this video, I would kindly ask that you like it and better yet, share it with your friends. So this is Bill O'Leary signing off for now. Go make it a great day and a better world.